Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Flying in English. My name is Nikki. I'm bouncing on a yoga ball, and this is 500 Big Ones, episode 2. We are studying advanced native level English stories so we can learn to sound like a real American. Last episode, we learned things like no way and unbelievable, which are just excellent things that we Americans love to say. In this episode, I've got some really good ones for you. Speaking of sounding like a real American, I have an amazing 30-day challenge for you that will have you sounding like a real American by the end of it too. So if you think you've got the chutzpah to take on this challenge, the link will be waiting for you in the description below. Without further ado, let's watch the next little part of this story. 500 Big Ones, episode 2.
Unbelievable! What? I won the lottery! No way! How much you win? 500 big ones. Oh, that's not half bad. I know, right? I was thinking if I ever won the lottery, it'd be something puny like $5.
Okay, that was wonderful. I hope you feel like you're starting to understand it more now that you've seen this first part a second time. That's if you've watched the first part of this series already. But let's jump right into it. So he says how much he actually won. He says 500 big ones. So that's the title of our story. Big ones, it means dollars, but not just any dollars. When we talk about big ones, we are specifically emphasizing a large amount, right? So it makes it sound more fun and dramatic. So we don't usually say like, oh, I've got 5 big ones in my pocket, unless you're being sarcastic. If you're being like, oh, I've got 5 big ones in my pocket, then it'd be funny. Like, yeah, you have 5 big amounts of money, but you're joking. Usually we use big ones to talk about like a large amount. So we might say like, how much money did you give that 5-year-old for her birthday, for birthday money? And you might say something like, oh, I gave her 100 big ones. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's a lot for a 5-year-old, right? So big ones usually to be fun and dramatic, talking about a lot of money. So here's some examples for you. I lost 200 big ones at that casino. Oh my gosh, imagining losing $200. Like, I don't gamble, so $200 that's too much. Or he made 1,000 big ones from selling sneakers. So you can see we use it to talk about a lot of money and to emphasize it in a fun and dramatic way. Let's move on. So the friend says, that's not half bad. That's not half bad. Not half bad. So this is different from not bad. Not bad is actually neutral to slightly positive. Not half bad, believe it or not, is actually more positive than not bad. If I say that burger's not half bad, I mean it's actually pretty good. Versus this burger's not bad. It means it's okay. It's not bad. Here's another example. Your singing is not half bad. So it means you sing well. Versus if you just said, oh, your singing's not bad. It's just not as strong as not half bad. And then moving on, he says, I know, right? I was thinking if I ever won the lottery, it'd be something puny, like $5. So I know, right? I love this phrase. I use it all the time. People use it all the time. And it means I agree with you. So I know some people might more often want to say something like, you're right. And while there are situations that you can use you're right and it sounds natural, most of the time when we're being, excited with a friend and we want to agree, most of the time we'll say, I know, right? Another one people like to use is, that's true. It's not wrong. It's not grammatically incorrect. It's perfectly fine. It's just not as cool and fun in a conversational, casual way. So you can say, oh, you're right, or, oh, that's true. They're fine, but they're just a little boring. So if you want to spice it up a little bit, you can try, I know, right? So I suggest you try to use that instead. So for example, this place is beautiful. And then someone says, I know, right? So I just want to quickly look at it'd be. So it's straightforward. It would be is what it means. It would be. But listen to the pronunciation. It'd be. It's a little hard to say. It's kind of a tongue twister. It'd be. because you have to move your tongue away and back to the top of your mouth a couple of times. It'd be. It'd be. It'd be. It'd be. And it's can be tricky to say it quickly because you might want to not pronounce certain sounds, but you have to because then it wouldn't be would anymore. So you have to say it'd be, not it be. It be is something completely different. You might hear that sometimes, but not in a situation like this. It would be grammatically different. It'd be. Try saying that a couple times. And then he said, it'd be something puny. I love the word puny. It's great. Puny just means tiny, but it emphasizes small and weak. Small and weak, not just small. So it's weak or insignificant, trivial. So it's kind of like a slightly negative feeling to puny. I don't know if you ever watched The Avengers. There's like a famous scene where Hulk is smashing Loki around and he says, puny god. So imagine puny in that situation. He's saying he's this little weak, insignificant god, right? Because he's saying, I am a god. So that's a perfect example. Or you could say something like, oh my gosh, look at this puny burger. Is that what they serve here? So it's a great example to show that it's just tiny and insignificant. And what is this? What is this? Okay, that's puny. And then we have bucks, $5. It'd be something puny like $5. Bucks is another way to talk about money, and it is actually more general. So whereas our first one that we learned, big ones, it's specifically for large amounts of money, right? So you want to talk about something that's a lot. But bucks is more general. So you can talk about that example I gave with the $5. Oh, I've just got $5 in my pocket. It works because bucks is more in a general sense, just means dollars. It's very casual, I will say. So it's not very formal, and you wouldn't use it in a formal situation usually, but it's very useful and very, very common. So you can say something like, I've only got $5. I'm pretty broke. Or another example, can you lend me a couple bucks? I just need to get some gas. So very simple, very easy to use, just means dollars. Okay, that's everything for today's episode. We're gonna stop right there. If I missed anything that you thought I should have talked about, or if there's anything that you have a question about, please just leave a comment, let me know. I would love to answer you. I will be sure to look at your comments and try to answer as best I can. But here comes the important part. You guessed it. It's time for your daily practice plan. Remember, you're going to tell one story on one topic using all the words each day. I can't wait to see what you come up with, guys. Please share it with me on social media. You can tag me on Instagram, or you can just write out your story. I'd love to see it. And if you missed the first video in the series, go ahead and click the video on the screen. You can go right now and watch that first video in the series. And remember, the 30-day challenge is still open. You can go ahead and click the link in the description to try and get in and see if you can get feedback from me. Not everyone can get feedback from me, unfortunately, but you could if you jump on that link. And I will see you guys next time, flyers. See you in the skies. Bye.